Deciding where you want to move and buying a home there is likely one of the biggest decisions you're ever going to make in your entire life. Of course, there's multiple factors that go into that decision. That's exactly what we do with our clients, and we go through and ask questions like, what stage of life are you in? Are you moving for work? And what kind of things do you like to do outside of work, and more. Now, in the past 11 years, I've had the privilege of helping hundreds of families relocate to the upstate of South Carolina. In doing that, we had the opportunity to also hear some of the regrets that some of these families had and things that they wish they knew before they moved to the upstate. And that's exactly what we're going to cover in this video. So stick around to hear some of the regrets that people had when moving to the upstate. And as always, I am Stephen Delisle, your Greenville real estate expert here in the upstate. Our goal on this channel is also to be the #1 source for all things upstate, but also if you end up moving to this location, we'd love the opportunity to help you, of course. And of course, if you like this content, feel free to like and subscribe to our channel as we do many informational videos about the upstate. Now let's get into it. So guys, the first on the list is going to be buying a house sight unseen. Now, this did happen quite a lot in 2020 and 21 because things were moving so quickly. Thankfully, though, we do have a very extensive process that we take our buyers through. We meet them in the office. We go through exactly what they're looking for. Even if they're out of state, we also have FaceTime video walkthroughs and make sure that we also do videos we send them so that they can slowly go back and look through the entire house, make sure that they like the layout. And that's the next best thing for them to actually be walking through the home with us. We ideally want them to do that, of course, but if time does not permit that, that's the next best thing that we do. We also do video walkthrough tours and FaceTime walkthroughs of the entire neighborhood. As you know, you're not just buying the house, you're buying the neighbors as well. And when you're looking at stuff just on Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, for example, they're just going to present the house in the best light possible so that they can sell their home, of course. And in that as well, guys, is that people are often focused on just looking at the house itself as opposed to looking at the entire neighborhood that you're also going to be buying into. And the second thing that we do is walkthroughs and FaceTime walkthroughs about the amenities that are nearby as well. You want to make sure that the grocery store is nearby. If you're a gym person, where's the closest one? Do I have options? So those are the types of things that we go through up front to make sure that they understand our process so that when they invest their money, they're not going to have to turn around and sell it in 6 months because it doesn't fit their lifestyle. So it really does lead into the biggest feedback piece that we do get from our clients is that they really do need to take the time to visit here. If you're moving from out of state, you're not going to get a good feel for the different amenities that exist in Greer or Simpsonville, for example. You can most likely get to your work within 30 minutes of those locations, but both of those spots live very differently and have different restaurants and different parks that you really do need to take that time to experience. And that's exactly why we say, come here, take the time, take the 2 to 3 days, do your scouting report yourself with you and your family to make sure that you're really moving into the location that you want, and then we zero in on the neighborhood and then the home. Now, of course, when you do fly in or drive in, we do make a point to meet at the office and go over all of your wants and needs, write them down, make sure it's on one single sheet of paper. Of course, those things can change, but at least in the initial report before you do your scouting, I help you understand what areas are going to live for the lifestyle that you're looking for and give you those recommendations. You take the time to go drive through and see if it really feels like home. All right, the next common regret I hear often when people are moving to Greenville is making their home purchase here in Greenville contingent on the sale of their house wherever they're coming from. Now, oftentimes people are trying to submit offers before they even have their house listed, or they're through the appraisal process or through inspections. Different states have different rules and laws and regulations. So depending on where you're coming from, they might have a different process there as opposed to here. And a knowledgeable agent will understand the difference between each state and also where you're most likely to fall out of contract in that location versus here. So oftentimes we walk people through the domino effect, if you will, to help them understand if your house is not listed, oftentimes that offer is going to fall to the bottom of the pile or not even be addressed at all because of the risk tolerance there that's associated with not knowing what your market in your current location's like. So guys, this is part of our first phone call, what I call the discovery phone call, to help them understand what happens here, what kind of market we have here, No matter the location you're looking in or the price you're looking in, things are constantly on an ebb and flow, and you need to know what's happening in real time. So guys, if you don't have a relationship with a local, knowledgeable agent from where you're coming from to move to Greenville, what I provide for all of my clients in that discovery phone call is A, do you have that relationship? And if you don't, I know how to interview those agents in your local market to make sure that you're equally aligned with someone that does this full time and also knows what's going on in your current market. Now, the next regret I hear quite often is that people did not properly prepare for how stressful this process is really going to be. And when you're moving locally, it's already stressful enough. And if you're adding state lines in between this move and the distance, is really just adding more stress to the entire process. That's why it's very important for you to choose the right agent and call them immediately. Even interviewing a couple agents would be good so that you can get a good pro and con list for yourself and see who aligns best with your entire process. Oftentimes I hear people blindly picking an agent at the last minute because they didn't take the time to interview agents or even look up who the best agent is in that specific area. And that really leaves them without the resources and the team that would properly help them through their entire process, because everyone's process is different, which is why you need to reach out to someone as soon as you know you're going to move so that you have the time to pick the right person. Now that also ties into our next regret, where people press the pause button because they're trying to time the market. And the reality is every buyer wants the best deal possible, right? So what that does is it often makes the buyer want to pause their search and wait for either prices to go down or the interest rates to go down. And it's very unlikely, in my lifetime at least, that we're gonna see interest rates go to 4 or 4.5. So let's say that the inflation numbers do cool off a little bit and the interest rates do come down slightly. Now what that's going to do is it's going to flood the market with all the buyers that have been on the sidelines waiting for this exact moment to happen. So what that's going to do in reality is shoot those housing prices way up, and then you're really left with the same payment because you're paying X amount more for that same house with that slightly lower interest rate. So waiting for the housing prices to go down in a place like Greenville is really not the best idea because we're so heavily insulated. For example, in 2008, we just slowed down in growth. We didn't go into the red like Charlotte or Atlanta did. And the reason for that is because of our robust industries that we have here, like GE, ZF Transmissions. We've got Michelin headquarters for the entire United States just off Highway 85. And you got to think about all the ancillary businesses that also support those businesses as well. So we are very heavily insulated from other big cities like Charlotte and Atlanta. Now, the last regret I have for you guys is that I hear a lot of people talk about the fact that they did not choose the right real estate agent. Now, during the home search, buyers can feel alone, and having the wrong real estate agent will only add to that feeling. Now, of course, we do things differently here at Delisle Properties. We have a system and a structure that has been proven over many years to be successful as a tool to help accomplish the goals of our clients when they move here from out of state. So what we do is we set expectations even from the very beginning at that discovery phone call to make sure that they understand the market they're about to go into in real time. You also have an entire team behind me to help you through the entire process, whether that's movers, people for repairs, landscaping, you name it, we have everybody behind us to support you. And in my opinion, I say this to everybody, if you have the right real estate agent, you don't need Google or Angie's List, because they should have everybody that you would need associated with your entire home. Guys, I trust this video has been helpful, but above that, I hope that you are now able to avoid some of these pitfalls that these people have experienced as well when making your move, whether it's to Greenville or somewhere else. Now, if you're looking to relocate to Greenville specifically, of course, we'd love to engage with you in the comment section as well, or send us a direct message. Now, you can also reach me at steven@delisleinc.com or Delisle Properties on all the social media platforms. And my number directly to me is 864-506-3706. And remember, with Delisle Properties, luxury always comes standard.